Behind the spells, sorting hats, and enchanted halls of Hogwarts lies a story even more gripping than fiction. One of triumphs, tragedies, and secrets the cameras never captured. The Harry Potter franchise wasn't just a cultural phenomenon. It was a generational touchstone. It launched careers, immortalized legends, and concealed private struggles behind the cloak of wizardry. For over 2 decades, fans have grown up with Daniel Radcliffe's Harry, Emma Watson's Hermione, and Alan Rickman's Snape, believing they knew the actors as well as the characters they played. But the truth is far more complex. Some cast members, like Maggie Smith's indelible McGonagall, became cinematic icons. Others, like Richard Harris's original Dumbledore, left us too soon, their final scenes shadowed by real-life decline. And then there are those whose post-Potter lives unraveled. Arrests, addiction battles, careers derailed by scandal. What really happened behind the scenes? Why did Verne Troyer, the mischievous Griphook, die alone at 49? How did Alan Rickman deliver his most moving performances while secretly fighting cancer? And why does the internet mourn Maggie Smith, an actress still very much alive, as if she's already gone? This is the story the Harry Potter films never told you. From vanished child stars to actors who gave their final breaths to the series, we're pulling back the curtain on the cast's untold struggles, haunting legacies, and enduring magic. That single word, whispered by Severus Snape in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, became one of cinema's most iconic and heartbreaking moments. But few knew Alan Rickman delivered it while privately battling pancreatic cancer, a diagnosis he kept secret even from most of his castmates. The actor who redefined villainy. Born in 1946 to a working-class London family, Rickman nearly abandoned acting for graphic design before landing his breakout role as Hans Gruber in Die Hard, 1988. His velvety voice and ability to make cruelty magnetic defined his career, from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves to Sweeney Todd. Yet Snape would become his most complex legacy, a character who began as a seeming villain and died a tragic hero. The sacrifices no one saw. During Deathly Hallows Part 2 filming, 2010-11, Rickman was undergoing chemotherapy. Crew members later recalled him, sipping tea between takes to soothe his throat, never complaining despite visible weight loss, insisting on performing his own stunt when Snape collapses. He treated every line like it might be his last, said David Yates, because on some level, he knew it was. The final curtain. Rickman died on January 14, 2016 at 69. His last roles, including a snarky caterpillar in Alice Through the Looking Glass, were dubbed painfully ironic by critics as he voiced characters facing mortality while living it. Legacy. The always trend still floods social media every anniversary of his death. J.K. Rowling later revealed Rickman was one of only 3 people she told about Snape's true loyalty. Robbie Coltrane, the gentle giant who fought his own battles. I'll not be hiding anymore. When Rubeus Hagrid first burst through the door of the hut on the rock in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, audiences immediately fell in love with the half-giant's warmth. What they didn't see was actor Robbie Coltrane wincing between takes as osteoarthritis slowly crippled his joints. From stand-up to stardom. Born Anthony Robert Macmillan in 1950, the Scottish actor reinvented himself as Robbie Coltrane in his comedy club days. His breakthrough came with gritty roles in Mona Lisa, 1986, and Cracker, 1993, proving he could balance humor with heartbreaking depth. Perfect preparation for Hagrid. The Pain Behind the Beard. By Goblet of Fire, 2005, Coltrane needed custom knee braces under Hagrid's bulky costume, frequent breaks to stretch his joints, a wheelchair for offset mobility. Every step felt like walking on broken glass, he confessed in 2016. Yet he refused CGI assistance, insisting on performing Hagrid's running scenes himself. Final bow. Coltrane's last public appearance in 2022 showed him frail, but still joking. At least I got to outlive that bastard Snape. His death months later, October 14th, 2022, age 72, from multiple organ failures sparked global mourning. Daniel Radcliffe's tribute. He called us his wee terriers, and we adored him. Broke fan hearts worldwide. Enduring magic. The Hagrid's Hut set remains preserved at Warner Brothers Studios, complete with Coltrane's handwritten notes about his character. Richard Harris, the rebellious wizard who defied death until he couldn't. Nitwit, blubber, oddment, tweak. When Richard Harris first twinkled his eyes as Albus Dumbledore in 2001, few realized the 71-year-old Irish actor was already racing against time. His portrayal of the wise headmaster would become iconic, yet his casting nearly didn't happen. And his sudden death after just 2 films left the franchise reeling. The Reluctant Wizard. Harris initially refused the role, calling the books rubbish for children. It took his 11-year-old granddaughter's ultimatum, "Grandpa, if you don't play Dumbledore, I'll never speak to you again," to change his mind. Even then, he arrived on set with conditions. Demanded a private whiskey stash in his trailer. Insisted on performing all his lines seated. Headmasters don't pace like schoolboys. Frequently ad-libbed, including Dumbledore's famous kettle speech, "Drinking with Death." During filming, Harris was secretly battling Hodgkin's lymphoma. Crew members reported. He needed oxygen between takes but refused to show weakness. His famous "Welcome to Hogwarts" speech was filmed in 1 take while running a fever. When producers suggested recasting for Prisoner of Azkaban, he growled, "I'll outlive this damn franchise." He didn't. Harris died on October 25, 2002, just weeks after wrapping Chamber of Secrets. His final public words about Potter? "At least I gotta be magical before I kicked it." A controversial replacement. The rushed casting of Michael Gambon caused fan outrage. Gambon later admitted, "I didn't even read the books. I just copied Richard's twinkle and hope for the best." Legacy. Harris's original wand sits in a Dublin pub, where fans leave shots of whiskey instead of flowers. Maggie Smith, the steel magnolia of Hogwarts. Why is it, when something happens, it is always you 3? Professor McGonagall's signature line became ironic behind the scenes, where Dame Maggie Smith, already a 2-time Oscar winner when cast, endured chemotherapy between takes while never missing a day's work. A titan before the wand. By 2001, the then 66-year-old had won Oscars for the prime of Miss Jean Brodie, 1969, and California Suite, 1978. Battled and beaten breast cancer in the 1980s. Turned down the role of Professor Sprout because Minerva had bet. Etched, The Chemo Chronicles. During Order of the Phoenix, 2007, Smith wore a cooling cap to prevent hair loss from treatment. Had her trailer moved closer to set to conserve energy. Perfected McGonagall's stern glare by joking, "It's the same face I make at my oncologist." A crew member recalled, she'd vomit between takes, then stride back in like she owned Hogwarts, which, let's be honest, she did. The fake death that fooled the internet. When a 2024 Facebook post announced Smith's passing, fans worldwide mourned, until her publicist clarified she was very much alive. The actress later quipped, "I've been dying on stage for 60 years. You'd think people could wait for the curtain call." Enduring spell. Smith's McGonagall remains the benchmark for no-nonsense educators, inspiring real teachers to adopt her disappointed eyebrow raise. Richard Griffiths, the gruff uncle with a golden heart. No post on Sundays. That booming line as Vernon Dursley made audiences despise Harry's cruel uncle, but few knew Richard Griffiths. The Tony-winning actor behind the walrus mustache became a father figure to Daniel Radcliffe when a young star needed it most. From Shakespeare to screaming at wizards. Before terrorizing Harry Potter, Griffiths had won a Tony for The History Boys, 2006. Performed with the RSC for 15 years. Been declared the best Falstaff of his generation by critics. He took the Dursley role because villains get the best lines, but secretly loved that children recognized him as Harry's mean uncle. The on-set guardian. During Radcliffe's early fame struggles, Griffiths gave him a signed copy of Hamlet with notes, on handling fame. Taught him chess between takes to shut off the madness. Once chased off aggressive paparazzi with Vernon's signature newspaper roll. Radcliffe later said, "He'd go from screaming at me as Vernon to whispering Shakespeare in my ear the second they yelled cut." The last performance. Griffiths died March 28, 2013 after heart surgery complications. His final gift to Radcliffe? A handwritten letter found after his death. "Keep surprising them, Danny. That's when a magic happens." Legacy. The purple-faced Vernon memes still circulate yearly on Griffith's birthday, July 31st, shared with Harry Potter himself. John Hurt, the dying wand maker who taught us how to live. The wand chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter. When John Hurt whispered these words as Mr. Ollivander in 2001, no one knew the legendary actor, already battling cancer, would spend his final years teaching Hollywood how to face mortality with grace. A life in roles. Before his wizarding days, Hurt had earned 2 Oscar nominations, Midnight Express, The Elephant Man. Played the iconic Kane in Alien, that chestburster scene. I got paid £300. Been knighted for services to drama in 2015. He took the Ollivander role because only fools refuse Rowling's world. Though he joked the character smelled of elderberries and death. The diagnosis that didn't define him. During Deathly Hallows 2010, Hurt performed his Ollivander torture scenes between chemo sessions. Kept a journal of last times, last horseback ride, last whiskey, last standing ovation. Told Daniel Radcliffe, "Dying's easy, lad. Living takes real magic." A crew member recalled, he'd lose his breath mid-line, then deliver the next take perfectly. Like Ollivander himself, fragile but unbreakable. The final incantation. Hurt died January 25, 2017 at 77. His last public words? "I've had 55 years of extraordinary luck. Now let's see what's backstage." Enduring charm. The wands he autographed at conventions now sell for £5,000 plus, each signed with his trademark. Choose wisely. Verne Troyer. The giant talent in a tiny body. Entering Gringotts without authorization? That's madness. When Verne Troyer delivered Griphook's warning in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the 2 feet 8 inches actor had already spent a lifetime battling stereotypes, only to face his darkest demons after leaving the wizarding world. The reluctant star. Troyer never wanted to be defined by his size. Ran away from home at 18 to join a traveling circus. Hated being the freak. Became a stunt double for Baby in Baby's Day Out, 1994. Landed Austin Powers' Mini-Me role by improvising during auditions. He took Griphook because goblins get respect. They run the damn bank. The Curse of Mini-Me. After Harry Potter, Troyer struggled with being typecast as tiny villains. Depression from failed relationships. Alcoholism that led to multiple rehab stints. His 2017 YouTube plea, "I'm human too," went viral, but the damage was done. The final spell. Troyer died April 21st, 2018 at 49. The coroner ruled it suicide by alcohol poisoning. His last tweet? "Be kind to each other." Haunting legacy. The Gringotts scenes now play with fan tributes. Gold coins left at screenings in his memory. Elizabeth Spriggs. The forgotten matriarch of Hogwarts. Pig snout. When Elizabeth Spriggs as the fat lady first sang this password in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the 77-year-old acting veteran didn't know these would be among her final lines, or that strokes would soon steal the voice that enchanted British stages for decades. A life in theater. Before the fat lady's portrait came to life, Spriggs co-founded the groundbreaking Actors Company in 1972. Won a BAFTA for Sense and Sensibility, 1981. Was dubbed the mother of British drama by Ian McKellen. She took the role because of in singing Portraits de Shakespearean Training. The unseen struggle. During filming, crew built a special rotating frame so she could perform seated. Her strokes began affecting speech. Take 17 of Pig Snout was the one used. She insisted on doing her own harmonies despite fading V. Voice. Director Chris Columbus recalled. That portrait frame wasn't just a prop. It became her support. Final bow. Spriggs died July 2nd, 2008 at 78. Her last performance? Voicing a grandmother in the Chronicles of Narnia. Recorded between hospital visits. Lost Magic. The Fat Lady song was actually Spriggs improvising a 17th century drinking tune she'd learned at RADA. Paul Grant. The Forgotten Goblin of Gringotts. Vault 713. Broken into just hours ago, when Paul Grant whispered these lines as an unnamed Gringotts goblin in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. The 39-year-old stunt performer had no idea it would be his only brush with fame, before vanishing into obscurity and meeting a tragic end. A career in the shadows. The 4 feet 4 inches actor built his career on. Stunt doubling for Warwick Davis in Willow, 1988. Playing Ewoks in Return of the Jedi, 1983. Minor goblin/alien roles in over 20 films. His Harry Potter gig lasted just 3 days, but he kept prosthetic ears as a souvenir. The Descent. After 2001, Grant became addicted to painkillers after a stunt injury. Was homeless for periods near the Harry Potter studios. Worked briefly as a Santa's elf before being fired for smelling of drink. The Final C. Ertain. Grant died March 20th, 2023 at 56 after collapsing outside King's Cross Station, just blocked from Platform 9 3/4. His daughter later scattered his ashes at Leavesden Studios. Bitter irony. The Gringotts Goblin mask he wore now sells for £3,000 plus at auctions, more than he earned for the role. Behind the spells, sorting hats, and enchanted halls of Hogwarts lies a story even more gripping than fiction. One of triumphs, tragedies, and secrets the cameras never captured. The Harry Potter franchise wasn't just a cultural phenomenon. It was a generational touchstone. It launched careers, immortalized legends, and concealed private struggles behind the cloak of wizardry. For over 2 decades, fans have grown up with Daniel Radcliffe's Harry, Emma Watson's Hermione, and Alan Rickman's Snape, believing they knew the actors as well as the characters they played. But the truth is far more complex. Some cast members, like Maggie Smith's indelible McGonagall, became cinematic icons. Others, like Richard Harris's original Dumbledore, left us too soon, their final scenes shadowed by real-life decline. And then there are those whose post-Potter lives unraveled. Arrests, addiction battles, careers derailed by scandal. What really happened behind the scenes? Why did Verne Troyer, the mischievous Griphook, die alone at 49? How did Alan Rickman deliver his most moving performances while secretly fighting cancer? And why does the internet mourn Maggie Smith, an actress still very much alive, as if she's already gone? This is the story the Harry Potter films never told you. From vanished child stars to actors who gave their final breaths to the series, we're pulling back the curtain on the cast's untold struggles, haunting legacies, and enduring magic.